In 1941, December 7th, 1941, we were attacked at Pearl Harbor. And Roosevelt declared war the next day against Japan, and the Axis 2 days later of Germany and Italy, they joined the forces of Japan, and we had now World War II. There was 2 months later, here in the Hudson River, there was a ship called the Normandy. It was a French ship that was commissioned by the United States Navy to be refitted to send troops to Europe to fight the war. We lost 150 ships, 150 commercial ships in the first 2 months of World War II. But interesting, the SS Normandy blew up in the port of New York and turned over. And this raised a very serious question. Who, how, what, when, where? There was a naval officer in charge of intelligence in Manhattan by the name of Charles Heffenden. Charles Heffenden reached out to Moses Polikoff. Moses Polikoff was the attorney to both Meyer Lansky and to Charlie Lucky Luciano. And he said, I want a meeting with your guy, Meyer Lansky. And met with Meyer Lansky. Meyer Lansky was a patriot. He said, of course I'll meet with him. He said, what's the problem? He says, the Normandy, the destruction of the Normandy, the blowing up of the Normandy, raises the question of sabotage and espionage. And we need the support of the longshoremen. But we don't know whether we can trust the longshoremen. 50% of the longshoremen are Irish. That means they could be anti-British. 50% are Italian. They could be pro-Mussolini. So Meyer Lansky's response at the time was, you're coming to me, but I'm not the guy that's got the power. The guy that's got the power is Charlie Lucky Luciano. However, Thomas Dewey, who was a special prosecutor going against organized crime in the 1930s, took down Dutch Schultz, took out Lefty Buchalter, took out Lucky Luciano. He framed, or it was alleged that he framed Lucky Luciano for promotion of prostitution, and that he was prosecuted and found guilty and was sentenced 30 to 50 years prison, New York State. They sent him all the way up. I can't remember the name of the prison. It was on the border with Canada. And so Meyer Lansky arranged with the United States government, with the approval of Thomas Dewey. It's known as Operation Underworld. And it's in a book written by a fellow by the name of Campbell. And it was a joint venture with the mob and with the Department of Navy that the United States government was never too proud to talk about. They didn't want to go public with this. Okay. So Dewey ultimately agreed and had Lucky Luciano brought down closer to New York City. Meyer Lansky convinced Lucky Luciano that if you're going to use your influence with the longshoremen, which was under mob control, there's no deal on the table for you. It's going to be strictly an act of patriotism. You're either going to do it, you're not going to do it. But no deal is on the table. Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky convinced him to do it. And sent the message throughout the entire city of New York that we are now the eyes and ears for the United States of America. Longshoremen, bars, cigarette girls, pimps, prostitutes, everybody now is eyes and ears for the United States of America. There was no other incidents that took place after the war A deal was worked out with Dewey that Lucky Luciano would be given a governor's pardon. The mob told Dewey through Moses Polikoff, we will throw our support behind you because you want to become the governor. People, you remember that Thomas Dewey, from governor, what did he want to become? The president. The mob threw its support behind Dewey. Dewey was elected, and he kept his word, except he made one exception. Lucky Luciano was not allowed to stay in the United States. He was deported back to Sicily, where he came from. That was Operation Underworld.